Hi everyone, Stepan here. I'm going to play a training game because I have a league game tomorrow, so I want to stay as prepared as possible, and I'm going to play a 15 plus 15 minute game as I usually do, because it's hard to get people to play longer time controls without prior arrangement. So okay, my rating is low because I keep losing games. Let me move this so you can see it. 1888. Okay, so we have e4, e5, knight f3. I'll try to share my thoughts during the game and try to play as well as possible. I'm white tomorrow in the league game, so I'm happy I got white. Okay, the Hungarian defense. I'm going to play the sharpest way possible with d4. If he takes, I'm going to play c3, and then I expect knight a5, which is the best move. If he takes on c3, that's a mistake. He can also play knight f6 and continue that way, but I think that taking is the correct way to play. Now knight a5. I'm not going to waste time on the opening if I know it. I want to leave myself with enough time for a middle game, because I usually get low on time. Okay, so this was a mistake, because now he has to play knight h6, and after I take, he has to castle, otherwise he's getting mated. If you haven't seen the video on the Hungarian defense, the theory in the Hungarians, do see it. This is one of the traps that black can sometimes fall into. It's not lost or anything, it's slightly better for white, but black has to play extremely precisely now. Knight h6, bishop takes h6, castles, and then I have to take on g7, king g7, knight c3. He resigned? He resigned! Okay, I'm just going to show you the continuation, which is... I'm going to play one more game because this was too short. Let me turn on the engine. So the continuation is this: knight h6, bishop takes. Now obviously he can't recapture because he's getting checkmated. He has to castle, and now my rook is hanging because of c takes b2, and my bishop is hanging. So the best move for white is bishop takes g7, and after king takes g7, knight takes c3. And the evaluation here, this is move 9. I think it's slightly better for white, plus 0.5, so nothing major. Black's king is a bit awkward, but my queen is strangely placed as well. So okay, not a very good game, I have to say. I'm going to play one more. So yeah, it pays off to know the theory. I mean, he resigned in an equal position, which is bad. You should never resign unless you're sure you're losing. So I'm playing a high rated opponent here, 2200, which I'm happy to see. I just hope he plays. Okay. One knight c3. I have no idea what this opening is, and I'm actually glad to play out of theory. So I'm expecting he's going to go for d4 at some point. So I might just play d5, so that if he doesn't play d4, I'm going to play d4 myself, trying to get sort of a reversed Nimzovich. So okay, he did play it. Now we are in a queen pawn opening with a slightly misplaced knight. I'm not sure that this opening is any good. I mean, yeah, it can be good. I faced this in a tournament game and I managed to win. The problem is that he now doesn't have c3 or c4 and queen b3, queen a4, because this diagonal is usually weak for black. Okay, so knight g3, I guess at some point. So bishop e7. I'm just going to develop normally. Once again, I'm not familiar with the opening, but I'm not going to spend too much time nevertheless, because I don't want to get inside knot. I'm actually going to let him capture here. I'll develop, not waste any time. h6 is a waste of time, or capturing would be a waste of time. So okay, takes. Now I have my rook open here, and yeah, now his position is slightly weaker than mine. I'm guessing he's going to castle kingside at some point. I want to play c5. Yeah, I'm going to play c5. It seems to be the most active move. Use the fact that he cannot play c3 or c4. I'm still surprised my opponent resigned in the last game. That's a theoretical line. I hope you can memorize it now, because it's a fine trick to have up your sleeve, and it's not like you're winning, you're just in a slightly better game. I'm not sure about this move. I've looked at this and I thought that he has nothing after a6. Bishop takes here, knight takes, still keeping the look on this square. If he plays bishop, he doesn't have time for that. Yeah, I'm just going to play a6. C takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop c5 is a tempo move. I think rook c8 is sensible, just developing normally. I'm going to wait for him to castle. Might even leave my king in the center if he castles kingside. If he castles queenside, then c takes d4 opens up a lot of lines. A strange opening. I'm not sure if this is even theory. And he's playing very fast. f4 is a weakening move. Definitely a weakening move. Now after c takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop c5, I have a very good bishop. I might even play b5 first, stopping knight to a4. I like that, I'm gaining more space. I'm not afraid of f5. It's a very strange game, I have to say. I think I'm slightly better. His knight on g3 doesn't seem to have many squares to go to. His king is less safe than mine, definitely. Especially if he castles queenside. If he doesn't, then his king is stuck on e1. I want to play queen b6, c takes d4. Queen takes d4, bishop c5, and create a battery so that I can win this knight. So the plan is queen b6 takes. If he takes with the pawn, then I'm better. If he takes with the queen, check here and check. Chasing the queen away and check here should win the knight, unless he plays queen to d2 when he will be defending f2. Let me just turn off the sound on my phone. I keep getting messages. This I think is a waste of tempo, because after queen b6 perhaps he's going to castle queenside. I'm just going to capture here now to sort of put him off that idea. He takes with the pawn. Now I have a great square for my knight. I think queen c7 is a good move, looking at c2 and looking at the f4 pawn, because I can then play knight to h5, force an exchange of bishops, and then f4 is loose. So I think queen c7 is a good developing move. If he castles queenside, his position will be very weak. So okay, knight h5, bishop takes bishop, king takes bishop. f4 is hanging with check, so after bishop takes bishop, I might even take on f4 first, because it's with check. Okay, rook takes. I'm looking at sacrificing the exchange here. Bishop takes g5, g takes h5, bishop takes f4. Do I have enough? I don't think I have enough. So I'm just going to retreat my rook, keep the threats open. If bishop takes bishop, queen takes here, check first as an intermezzo. And if he moves his queen, I always have b4, checkmate, winning the knight. So my plan is now knight b6, and knight c4 or knight a4, depending on the situation. He's playing very fast. So, okay, an intermezzo move, king takes e7. I'm pawn up, which is nice, and I have the semi-open c-file. It's not that my king is perfectly safe, but still. Might be a bit tender on f7, but I hope I can play queen here now. I wouldn't like to go on the defensive, but queen g5 seems like a very sensible move. Stopping any h5, h4, and just keeping a look on my structure. Knight here is a threat as well, so I have to keep that in mind too. So if he plays rook here, then the queen is defending for now, that's why I played queen g5, but I have to be careful. So I want to play rook c to f8, and I'm not really sure how he infiltrates my position. I normally don't get 2 games in one training video, but the first one, as you witnessed, was very short. The second one is looking fine. I'm a bit, it's a bit on the unsafe side, but I'm a pawn up. Yeah, no, in many positions he will be threatening to take on d5. But I want to play rook to f8 first, before moving my king. Okay, rook f8, and then I'm going to play king d8. Just to get myself out of this pin. For now the queen is defending. I think I need to chase this knight away. Well, my a6 pawn is weak, but I'm hoping I can just play rook a8 now, because the queen has no squares to infiltrate. I don't really want to play a5, because then the queen would get the b5 square. And when the queen moves, I could even consider taking on h3 at some point. I'm actually happy to dislodge this knight, because now I'm going to be able to create a lot more pressure on c2. So I'm thinking if knight a2, then I am going to have to play a5, defending my pawn, then queen b5 or queen a6, and then I'm going to play rook to c8. After rook to c8, there's some pressure on c2. Wow. Not really sure about this move. What's he threatening? He doesn't have a single check. He can't take on e6. Rook takes e6, pawn takes e6. Everything is defended. He can take on f7. So rook takes f7 check. Ooh, this was actually a nice trick. So okay, he's threatening rook f7, queen e6, winning my rook. And if I take with the king, it's actually checkmate. So I think I should just chase the queen away first. No, I can't. Because if rook a8, rook f7, king f7, queen e6 is still checkmate. Rook f7 is a strange threat. But I think I should be okay. So let's calculate. B takes c3, rook takes f7, rook takes f7. If rook e6, check. Rook f7, rook f7, rook e6, check. King d8 is the only square. It's a very strong threat. I'm not sure if I have a way to defend f7 even, or e6. Perhaps I have to move my king. This is very strange. Okay. If rook a8, rook f7, king f7, queen check, I have rook here. And then this is not checkmate because my rook is defending. Rook is defending e8, queen is defending e7. So let's calculate once again. Rook to a8, chasing the queen away. Rook f7, king f7. Queen takes e6 check, king to f8. And if rook to f1 check, then knight to f6. Rook a8, rook f7 check, king f7, queen e6 check, king to f8. Rook a8, rook f7, king f7, queen e6, king f8. Rook f1 doesn't work, queen takes d7. I can just take on c3. I'm too slow. Okay, rook a8, rook a8. Rook a8, rook f7, king f7, queen e6, king f8, I'm going to play it. I don't think he's mating me. I think it's going to work. I'm not sure he has enough. I'm really not sure he has enough. So I'm a rook up for 3 pawns. He has a check on f1, but knight f6. I don't think he's mating me. Might even be able to take on h3. I'm not sure what to do now. I would like to consolidate my position, but it's obviously not possible. Knight f6 doesn't work because of queen e7 check. Or does it? Knight f6, queen e7 check, king g8. Knight f6 might be a good move. Queen e7 check isn't that scary. Knight f6 seems to consolidate my position somewhat. I would like to get my king to h7 and just convert. Knight f6 seems like an okay move. If knight c2, knight f6, knight c2, knight f6, knight c2. I'm covering the e8 square, so there's no checkmate. Knight f6, knight c2. I can play rook to... Knight f6, knight c2. Rook to b8 is the only move, it seems. Because if I play rook d8, he plays queen e7 check, wins the rook. So okay, I'm going to go for that, because I don't see... he got me. I forgot about knight b3. Oh, I'm actually okay, because I have rook a7. This is not checkmate because of the knight. If knight here, I can just take it. And queen e7 doesn't do much. And if check here... okay, he has queen c8. This is a tricky position. Rook b8 fails to queen d6 check. Rook d8 fails to queen e7 check. Rook e8 fails to knight d7 check and mate after I take with the knight. Maybe queen a5. Queen a5, knight d7 check, knight takes, queen e7, king g8. Yeah, queen a5 seems to save the position. Very tricky, very tricky. Okay, let's play queen a5. Oh no, I messed up. He has... No, he could have played knight check, and after knight takes, because I have to take, otherwise it's checkmate, he can just play rook f1, checkmate. And now I think I managed to save the position. Even though I give up my knight, I don't think that's too relevant. Yeah, I think I'm busted here. There are just too many threats. Knight d2 check is a horrible threat. Knight d7 check. Yeah, he should have seen rook f1, the last move, so knight d7 check, knight takes. I think knight d7 is just too strong. I'm not even concerned about losing my knight on f6, it's irrelevant for the position. Maybe rook a7 saves things. Maybe. I don't know. I think it's my only move. If queen c8 check, I lose the rook, but I mean, I can't really do much more. Queen c8 and king here, queen takes rook, queen takes knight at least. It's a very hard game to defend, I have to say. But I'm happy because I actually started calculating, so it's a good preparation for tomorrow's game. Ah, okay, he just plays rook e8. Yeah, okay, I'm going to resign. I have to analyze this game now because this is just mental. Van Geet opening. I have no idea what that is. So let's see, d5, d4. Black is already better. Knight f6, bishop g5, bishop f5, e3, e6, knight g2, bishop b7 is... oh, okay. No, bishop b7 better for black. Knight g3 here. Bishop d3. I should have taken, but I didn't really want to. Takes, have the open g file, h3, which I thought was a strange move. c5 was correct. Ah, yeah, okay. Moron. Queen b6 here. But okay, a6, knight back. Still, wow, -2. How am I so much better? Takes. Yeah, I'm much better this game. Just pawn up seems to be a clean pawn up. Yeah, this was the mistake. I should have kept the defense of the e6 pawn. Obviously, none of the variations that cost me the game would have been possible if I had played queen d6 instead of queen g5. But that's life. Whoa. He played extremely precisely. And rook to a8 was actually the best move. I don't think I'm surviving after rook f7 if I take the knight. Yeah, definitely not surviving. So, okay, queen takes a6, rook a8 was the best attempt, but still rook f7, king f7, queen e6 check, king f8, knight takes d5, knight f6, knight b6, queen a5, bad, g5. G5? Why can't he have just played this? But rook f1 is not a checkmate because I can just bring my knight back. I'm an idiot, I'm sorry. Yeah, great play from my opponent. I just forgot that the knight can go back. So the best move was to take. Here. Blah. Horrible. So my mistake was queen g5 instead of queen d6. So let's go back to this position. Okay, here I'm -1 if I play queen d6 because there are none of these variations, which is smart. After here, it's much harder to defend. Rook d1, yeah. Okay, let's just take a look at the opening once again. Knight c3, d5, d4. This is now the Richter-Veresov attack. The Van Geet opening, 1 knight c3. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Do let me know what you think about this crazy game. I mean, queen d6 was a good move, but didn't see it, unfortunately. I hope I'm prepared well enough for tomorrow. It's a very important game. I've been preparing for my opponent for a long time now, and I hope I do well. Cross your fingers. See you tomorrow. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for more chess. Bye bye.